Are you starting a business, or are you stuck, wondering why your business isn't growing? You've got the idea, you've poured in the time, maybe you've even made some sales, enough to know it's possible, but something feels off. The momentum you expected, it's not there. You're working harder than ever, but growth feels like pushing a boulder uphill. And worse, you're beginning to question yourself. Is this idea good enough? Am I cut out for this? Why is everyone else scaling while I'm still grinding? Let me tell you something no one wants to admit. Most businesses fail, not because they lack talent, drive, or even capital, but because they never build the right foundation. They start with the product, they obsess over the logo, they chase trends, they hustle relentlessly, but they skip the real work, the invisible architecture beneath the surface. I've been where you are. I've launched businesses that flatlined. I've worked 90-hour weeks just to break even. I've sat across from investors who said, "Great energy, but where's the system?" And I've stood in front of teams who looked at me like, "What are we actually building here?" But I've also built companies that scaled globally. I've coached founders who went from 50K years to 7 figures in 18 months. And I've studied what separates those who survive from those who truly thrive. And today, for the next hour, I'm going to give you the full blueprint, the unseen engine that powers sustainable entrepreneurial success. Not hacks, not shortcuts, but the proven, timeless principles used by the world's most impactful leaders, from Simon Sinek to Ray Dalio, from Jim Collins to Indra Nooyi, from Steve Jobs to Whitney Wolfe Herd. We'll explore why purpose matters more than passion, why systems beat hustle, and how radical truth can become your greatest competitive advantage. By the end of this episode, you won't just understand why your business is stuck, you'll have a clear, step-by-step plan to fix it. So grab a notebook, pause distractions. This is for anyone who's ready to stop surviving and start building something that lasts. Welcome to Legacy and Empire. Let's begin with a hard truth, one that will sting if you're honest with yourself. Most businesses don't fail because the market rejected them. They fail because the founder never knew why they were building them in the first place. Think about it. How many times have you heard someone say, "I started a business because I wanted to be my own boss," or "I saw a gap in the market," or "I love baking, so I opened a bakery"? All valid reasons, but none of them are purpose. And without a true magnetic why, your business has no gravity. It can't attract loyal customers. It can't inspire a team. It can't withstand the inevitable storms. This is where Simon Sinek's golden circle changes everything. Sinek, author of Start With Why, introduced a model that seems simple, but its implications are profound. He says most organizations communicate from the outside in. What they do, we make computers. How they do it, we design beautifully intuitive interfaces. And why they do it, we believe in challenging the status quo to empower human potential. But the truly great ones, Apple, Tesla, Patagonia, they start from the inside out. They begin with why, because people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Let me show you what that means in practice. When Steve Jobs returned to Apple in 1997, the company was on life support. Market share was collapsing, morale was low, the product line was bloated. But Jobs didn't start by redesigning computers. He started by redefining why Apple existed. He put up a simple poster in the lobby. Think different. Not think better, not think faster. Different. That wasn't a marketing slogan. It was a declaration of identity. Apple's why wasn't to sell technology. It was to champion rebels, misfits, and innovators. The people who see the world not as it is, but as it could be. And everything followed from that. Their how became, by making tools so beautiful and intuitive they disappear, so only the user's creativity remains. Their what was the Mac, the iPod, the iPhone, each a physical manifestation of that belief. Customers didn't buy an iPhone because it had a good camera. They bought it because using it made them feel like creators, like visionaries. That's the power of a true why. It creates emotional resonance. It builds a tribe. Now contrast that with a competitor. Let's take Dell in the early 2000s. Their messaging? We build reliable PCs at competitive prices. Technically accurate, emotionally empty. No one tattoos Dell on their arm, but millions proudly display the Apple logo. Why? Because Apple speaks to identity, Dell speaks to function, and in the long run, identity wins. The hidden cost of a fuzzy why. I once worked with a woman named Sarah. She ran a boutique fitness studio in Austin. Her classes were incredible, high energy, personalized, community-driven. But after 2 years, she was still barely breaking even. We sat down and did a deep dive. Her stated why: to help people get healthy. Noble, vague, forgettable. We dug deeper. What kept her up at night? What fire fueled her before sunrise? She told me about her mother, a nurse who died young from preventable heart disease, about how the healthcare system failed her, about how she watched strong, capable women lose confidence because they felt broken. And then it hit her. I don't just want people to get fit. I want to prove that health isn't about punishment. It's about reclaiming power, especially for women who've been told their bodies are problems to fix. That was her true why. We rebuilt her brand around it. Her messaging shifted. Her class names changed. Instead of Cardio Blast, she offered Reclaim Hour. Within 6 months, membership grew 60%. Retention doubled. People weren't just showing up. They were referring friends, sharing stories online. Why? Because now they weren't just buying a workout. They were joining a movement. A fuzzy why keeps you small. A crystal clear why gives you wings. How to find your real why. The 3 questions exercise. So how do you uncover your authentic why? Most people try to write a mission statement and end up with corporate jargon. That doesn't work. Instead, ask yourself these 3 questions, preferably with pen and paper, no distractions. Why did I start this in the first place? Not the rational reason, the emotional one. What pain, injustice, or vision pulled you in? Was it freedom? Legacy? A personal struggle? A dream deferred? Who do I serve, and why do they matter to me? Don't say everyone. Get specific. Is it overworked moms, burnt-out creatives, first-gen entrepreneurs? What do they carry that you understand deeply? What change do I want to see in the world because of this business? Zoom out. In 5 years, if your business succeeded wildly, what would be different? Not in revenue, but in lives, communities, beliefs. Write raw answers. Don't edit. Then look for patterns. The repetition is your why. For example, if you keep writing freedom, maybe your why is to create options where others see dead ends. If you keep writing confidence, maybe it's to help people trust their instincts again. If you keep writing legacy, maybe it's to prove that values-based business can win. Once you find it, test it. Say it out loud. Does it give you chills? Does it feel bigger than profit? Can you imagine fighting for it when things get hard? If yes, you've found your lighthouse. The danger of confusing passion with purpose. One final trap. Passion is not purpose. Passion is emotion. Purpose is direction. You can be passionate about cooking, but if your restaurant's why is just, I love food, you'll compete on price, ambiance, or gimmicks. But if your why is to reconnect people with the stories behind their meals, because every dish carries a history worth honoring, now you're building something different. Passion fuels the journey. Purpose defines the destination. Without purpose, passion burns out. With purpose, even failure becomes fuel. So, let's pause here. If your business isn't growing, ask yourself, do I have a why that would make someone cry, or just one that makes them nod? Because until you answer that honestly, nothing else will move the needle. Now, let's talk about the second silent killer, the one that traps even purpose-driven founders. Imagine this. You wake up at 5:30 a.m. By 6, you're replying to emails. At 7:30, you're on a client call. By 9, you're designing a new feature. At noon, you're doing payroll. After lunch, you troubleshoot a website bug. At 5 p.m., you record a social media post. Dinner is leftovers, bed by midnight. You do this 6 days a week. You call yourself a CEO, but really you're a glorified freelancer wearing multiple hats. Congratulations, you've fallen into the technician's trap. This concept comes from Michael Gerber's The E-Myth Revisited, one of the most important business books ever written. Gerber argues that most small businesses are started by technicians, people who are brilliant at doing the work, baking, coding, consulting, but terrible at running a business. They assume that because they're good at the craft, they'll be good at entrepreneurship. Spoiler, they're not. The myth of the self-employed entrepreneur. Now, here's the brutal truth. Being self-employed is not the same as being a business owner. Self-employment means you trade your time for money. You are the product. Business ownership means you've created a system that generates value without your constant input. McDonald's is not successful because Ray Kroc was the best hamburger flipper. It's successful because he systematized flipping hamburgers. He didn't build a job for himself. He built a machine that could run without him, and that's the goal. The 3 roles every founder must master. Gerber introduces a powerful framework. Every business owner must operate in 3 roles: the technician, the doer, the one who performs the core service; the manager, the organizer, the one who schedules, coordinates, maintains order; and the entrepreneur, the visionary, the one who designs the future, builds systems, thinks strategically. Most founders spend 90% of their time as the technician. The result? They're exhausted. Growth stalls. They can't take a vacation. The path to scale? Flip that ratio. Spend 80% of your time as the entrepreneur, 15% as the manager, 5% as the technician. Yes, 5%, because your highest leverage activity isn't doing the work, it's designing the system that does the work. Case study. From overworked founder to system architect. Meet James. He ran a web design agency. Great skills, loyal clients, but he was drowning. He was the lead designer, project manager, salesperson, and tech support. We did an audit. He spent 65 hours a week working, mostly in Photoshop. Revenue? $180,000 a year. After expenses and taxes, he took home less than a mid-level software engineer. We started with one question. What part of your day could be done by someone with half your skill? The answer was almost all of it. We identified tasks that were repetitive, rule-based, or required minimal creativity, like client onboarding, basic website edits, social media scheduling, invoice follow-ups. We documented each as a standard operating procedure, step-by-step checklists with screenshots. Then we hired a virtual assistant in the Philippines for $8 an hour, trained her on the SOPs. Within 3 months, James freed up 20 hours a week. He reinvested that into building a referral system, creating a signature workshop, developing a retainer model. Revenue jumped to $420,000 in 14 months. He hired 2 junior designers, took his first 2-week vacation in 5 years. His role? Now he's the entrepreneur, designing offers, refining systems, coaching the team. He didn't grow by working harder. He grew by working smarter, by escaping the technician role. How to build systems that scale. Building systems isn't complicated. It's consistent. Here's how to start. Step 1. Map your core processes. List the 5 to 7 things that happen repeatedly in your business. Lead generation, sales conversation, onboarding, delivery, support, billing. Step 2. Document one process this week. Pick the most time-consuming one. Record yourself doing it. Break it into steps. Add decision points. Use tools like Loom, Notion, or Google Docs. Example, process, client onboarding. Receive signed contract, send welcome email, template. Schedule kickoff call, Calendly link. Share intake form, Google form. Add client to project management tool, Asana board. Assign task to designer with a deadline. Step 3. Test and delegate. Have someone else follow the SOP. Watch where they get stuck. Refine. Repeat. Soon you'll have a playbook. Your business becomes a franchise in waiting. The freedom dividend. Here's the magic. Once your business runs without you, you gain optionality. You can take a month off, focus on high-impact strategy, launch a new product, mentor others, or just breathe. And paradoxically, the business grows faster when you're not in it, because now you're not just a worker, you're a builder. So ask yourself, if I disappeared for 90 days, would my business collapse? If the answer is yes, you're not an owner, you're an employee with bad benefits. Fix that. Build the system. Then we'll talk about the third pillar, the one that turns good businesses into legendary ones. You've defined your why. You've built systems. Now, how do you make decisions that actually lead to growth? Most founders rely on gut instinct, or consensus, or worst, avoidance. But the most successful leaders use a different tool, radical truth. Enter Ray Dalio, founder of Bridgewater Associates, the largest hedge fund in the world. Dalio didn't get there by being lucky. He got there by building a culture where truth is the highest currency. In his book, Principles, he lays out a philosophy that sounds extreme but works. Meaningful relationships require radical truth and radical transparency. At Bridgewater, employees rate each other in real time during meetings. Feedback is recorded. Disagreements are encouraged. There are no secrets. Sounds intense, it is, but it works because it removes ego, delusion, and politics. And you can apply this without the drama in your business. The problem, we live in a fog of delusion. Most businesses operate on assumptions. Our customers love us, but churn is rising. This strategy is working, but revenue is flat. My team is aligned, but morale is low. We ignore data that contradicts our story. We silence dissent. We punish messengers. And then we wonder why we keep making the same mistakes. Dalio calls this ego barrier. Our need to be right blinds us to reality. But in business, being right matters more than feeling right. So, how do you break through? The Dalio framework. Pain plus reflection equals progress. Dalio's formula is deceptively simple. Pain plus reflection equals progress. When something goes wrong, a lost client, a failed launch, a team conflict, don't suppress the pain. Lean into it. Then reflect. What actually happened? Why did we think it would go differently? What assumptions were wrong? What can we learn? Turn pain into data. Data into insight. Insight into evolution. Case study. The startup that saved itself by facing failure. A SaaS founder, let's call him Mark, launched a project management tool. Initial traction was strong. Then sign-ups stalled. His team said, maybe the market is saturated. Another said, we need better ads. Mark scheduled a post-mortem session. No blame, just facts. They analyzed user behavior, found that 80% of free users dropped off within 48 hours. Why? A usability test revealed the onboarding flow was confusing. Users didn't understand the core benefit. Instead of blaming marketing, they redesigned the first 10 minutes of the user experience. Result? Activation rate doubled. Revenue grew 70% in 6 months. They didn't pivot. They faced the truth. How to implement radical truth in your business. You don't need Bridgewater-level intensity. Start small. Weekly reflection ritual. Every Friday, ask, what worked? What didn't? What surprised us? What assumption was proven wrong? Feedback loops. Send short surveys to clients. What's one thing we could improve? Ask your team, what's one thing I should stop doing? Believability weighting. Not all opinions are equal. When making decisions, weight input based on track record in that area, direct experience, data backing. Example, when debating pricing, listen more to the sales rep with 90% close rate than the intern. Kill sacred cows. Regularly ask, what have we always done that might no longer be true? Maybe cold outreach doesn't work. Maybe in-person meetings aren't necessary. Be willing to change. Truth isn't comfortable, but comfort doesn't scale. Growth happens at the edge of discomfort. So build a culture where truth is rewarded, not punished, because the business that sees reality first wins. Now, let's talk about the leap from survival to explosion, from 200K to 2 million, from local to global, from me to we. This isn't about working harder, it's about thinking differently. And the mindset of exponential growth has 3 pillars: massive action, resilient learning, and deep adaptability. Let's unpack each. Pillar 1, massive action. Ship before you're ready. Elon Musk didn't wait for perfect rockets. He launched flawed ones, learned, and iterated. Most founders wait. They overplan. They seek perfection. But in business, done beats perfect. Action generates data. Data drives decisions. Decisions create momentum. Your first offer will be imperfect. Your first ad will underperform. Your first hire might not work out. That's okay. Launch fast. Learn faster. Pillar 2, resilient learning. Fail forward. Indra Nooyi, former CEO of PepsiCo, didn't rise by avoiding failure. She rose by learning from it. After a major product flop, she didn't hide. She analyzed. What assumptions were wrong? What customer needs did we miss? How do we adapt? She called it constructive dissatisfaction. Failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. Pillar 3, deep adaptability. Read the room. Whitney Wolfe Herd didn't build Bumble by copying Tinder. She adapted, saw the need for women to make the first move, built safety and respect into the DNA, listened to user feedback daily. Markets shift, customers evolve, technology changes. The rigid founder breaks, the adaptable one bends and grows. Let's bring it all together. The unseen engine has 3 cylinders: vision, Sinek; systems, Gerber; truth, Dalio. Neglect one and the engine sputters. Master all 3 and you build something that lasts. You now hold the blueprint, but knowledge without action is just entertainment. So here's your challenge. This week, do one thing. Clarify your why. Document one process. Run one truth session. Small steps, big results. Because your business isn't just about profit. It's about legacy. It's about freedom. It's about proving that purpose, systems, and truth can change everything. Go build what only you can build. This is Legacy and Empire. Until next time, vision, systems, truth.